Good to be back after for a while. So interesting. Welcome everyone. As you watch, this is Africans in Diaspora Online Network. Welcome you all to to this broadcast. It's been what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for a long time for the court proceedings to start, and the tribunal started today. On so many things happened today, although it's just a preliminary, not so much anyway. Anyway, the case has been postponed to, has been adjourned rather to Wednesday. All right. So I just want to share some thoughts. I just want to say we all should just be prayerful and let the truth prevail. We want a better country, a country of our dream. That's what we want for our country, Nigeria. And that is it. And we pray for the best. And we pray the truth prevail. Okay. There's a video I saw today on channel. It was an interview on Channels Television. I just love the. I love the interview. That's what I'm going to play today anyway. I don't have much to say right now. We are all waiting and watching for what the tribunal will say. So then we hope for the best, we pray for the best. We know that the truth will prevail. The obedience, or not just obedience. Nigerian people, they've made their voice heard, despite the threat, despite all what happened. But what I have to say again, I will pray for the court proceedings to be shown live, to be televised live, so that is we voted, the Nigerian people voted, so I think we have the right to see what is happening, to know what is happening. We have the right. I think we have the right to see it live. It will not cost anything. In fact, it will help people to see how it is going. That there is no. The trust will be there. Okay, so I just a few videos to play first. Then, but the other one, I don't know if I'm able to finish all because it's a bit long, 20 minutes or so. I will just play today's on. Just the welcoming. When the lawyers were coming in. Just that first, okay. Please, as you watch, kindly share, make comments, like, let's make it, also just make comments and like, okay, and share the video also. That is what I would say. Yeah.
I hope they are corrected. They are corrected.
Sorry. DJ, control this thing for me. Let me.
I know move for 1 minute. He said stay here and I stay. I'll join you. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. The train don't move. Thank you. I have to go outside the
It was Peter Obi coming to the courtroom. So I just want to play these videos so that
Good morning.
They allow you.
Yeah, that was just the Peter B entrance today. You know, I should just play that for everyone to see, and I'll play that video again after the court what they said. Let me play that one also. It's late over here. Let me just quickly play it. Yep. Let me play it. This one I'm going to play right now is what the lawyers what they agreed on after today's sittings. You know, they promised to make it swift. Okay, so they will give their each lawyer they will speak. So I just want to play that also. We are hopeful that everything will end well. That is our prayer, and we pray to end well. And we believe definitely it will end well. That is our prayer, and we know it will end well. It will definitely end well. It will definitely end well. Please, as you watch, kindly share the video
My name is
and make comment. Let's
Obed
listen to the lawyer.
Agu.
The lawyer.
I represented the Action People's Party, APP, which filed petition number 2, like CA/PEPC/02/2023. And the nitty-gritty of the petition we filed is to the extent that the election is marred with corrupt practices. The respondents in our petition, which includes Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC, he in person is not qualified in the first place to contest for the election. This is the nitty-gritty of our petition, and exactly what transpired in court there is just the pre-hearing session that we had today. Ordinarily, the procedure is such that we made application for Form TF008, and in that application, questions are asked, and we answered the questions. But basically, one of the questions which triggered the court this morning was the answer I gave to question number 8, which actually was asking what would I want the tribunal or court to do. And we said in the affirmative, let the courts ask the respondents to concede to defeat, considering the weight of evidence against them. That is exactly what happened in court today. So no, not at all. We are not taking that part. However, you know that I am a lawyer. I have the consent of my clients, however it is. So if going forward they give me an instruction, I will take their instruction. But as of today, we are going on and we are strongly coming back on the 10th of May.
Wednesday.
That's Wednesday, for the continuation of the pre-hearing session. So that means for now, we are going full hog. My name is Obed O Agu. O is initials. It stands for Okukwe. Obed Okukwe Agu, Esquire. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are very happy that at last the sitting of the court has started with this inauguration. And as you see, the court committed itself to cooperate and ensure that these petitions are expeditiously dealt with. And on our part, all the lawyers for all the parties also committed themselves to cooperating with the tribunal, the court, to make sure that these matters are dealt with urgently because of their national importance. So we are very happy today 3 petitions have been dealt with and 2 to come up tomorrow. And the very important ones, the Atiku and PDP petition will be coming up tomorrow. So we'll be back here tomorrow for the continuation of the pre-hearing session.
Then next week, we learned that you filed an application seeking for live coverage of the proceedings. Can you react?
I will talk about that tomorrow because our matter will come up tomorrow. By tomorrow, we'll be able to address.
Let's get to the bridge before
We'll be
crossing
able
it.
to address you fully on that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The court has commenced its sitting and today the hearing session and also your case was called. How can you react to such proceedings?
Well, we started on a very good note. I believe you were here and heard what we said in reply to the statement by the presiding justice of this court. Maybe let me repeat myself. I said that the decision to be rendered will impact on Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence, judicialism, and constitutionalism. It's very, very important that this is made known, because one way or the other, I do not think that it is business as usual as far as Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence is concerned. And we have assured the court that we will do all that we can to ensure that these petitions are heard expeditiously, because everybody is anxious, waiting for the outcome of the hearing. Nigerians are anxious. Most Nigerians are anxious. I believe that they will enjoy what is going to happen here. Robust advocacy, you can be sure of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's Yeah, I just played this video for us to just kind of this is what happened today anyway with after the court proceedings. The lawyers came out. They said that they said they want to make sure the case is they will work together to make sure it's handled swiftly and quickly. Let's pray everything works out well. People will be asking questions. Can these ones be can this be done before May 29th? For me, really, I don't think it's before May 29th it will be possible. But let's hope. Let's just wait and see. And again, we know what to make things right. So all hands should be on deck. Let's keep on praying, and we know the people have voted. We know who we voted for. We know who we voted for. So I would just encourage all the obedience. Don't give in. Don't give up. The hope is there. Our money we got him back, and that is it. We're all waiting. They said till Wednesday, just next tomorrow. By tomorrow, I think they'll be hearing the petition of PDP and Atiku. So let's watch and see. And definitely, I will play a video I watched on. It was today on Chinese television. The guy was trying to explain. I mean, the court what they need. I mean, his views about it. Anyway, I won't say what they need to do. His views about it. I will just play so to encourage everyone that there is hope, man. All things be equal, we have that over 90% of succeeding. Obtaining the election results for for who it's supposed to be. Are they behind INEC had they did what it was supposed to do, all these things will not be necessary. We are being, it will be at the movement now. We'll be planning on what and how to move things forward, to move forward. All the same, I believe what is working for good is this a lesson for all Nigerians, for us to really sit up and clear it back. And it's a lesson for all the politicians that they cannot just continue to live like this. They think this has changed, really, man. This has changed. This election has shown that this has changed. It's enough time to retire all the old politicians. Okay, we need new kids on the block, people with integrity. That's what we're praying for. That's what we want. That's what we all wanted. Anyway, I just played this video. I think it's a very long video. I will just try to stay for the video to the end. It's about 20 minutes or so. Okay, but just watch it. You'll be encouraged. I want you to be encouraged. That's why I want to play this. I want to be encouraged. You can see Victor Obede is encouraged. He's always smiling. He's always smiling. So it's always smiling. So that is the truth. So we should not give in. We should not give up. I always say that. Don't give in. Don't give up. I think let me start from where do I start from? Okay, let me start from here. All right. Please, as you watch currently, right now on YouTube channels about 2, Facebook pages about 2, and Twitter is on also, I think so. But anyway, kindly share the videos, follow us on our page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope by God's grace they go live on Wednesday, which is good. That will be very, very good. All right, guys, watch this video as I play this video.
Dismissed by this petition tribunal, for your information. So that tells you that the tribunal is already working. Had taken some applications already. Some house, keeping and house clearing job has already been done. What we expect the tribunal to do today is to go into substantive hearing of the petition.
But they called it a pre-hearing sitting.
Well, I wonder why they called it so. Maybe journalists may have seen it from that angle, just like I'm telling you now. If I wasn't telling you that the tribunal has already started sitting and has already taken some decisions, perhaps not every Nigerian would have known that. The concern, however, people seem to have is on the entire modus operandi of the tribunal and the issue you just raised in your intro about the time within which the tribunal should go about its job and the effect it will have on the polity. And I'm sure you would have been referring to section 285, subsection 6 and 7 of the Constitution. And that section talks about giving the first tribunal, which is the Court of Appeal, 180 days within which to conclude its hearing and determination of the appeal, while section 285 subsection 7 now subsequently gives the Supreme Court, which is the final court on this matter, 60 days, 2 months, within which to hear and determine the appeal from the Election Petition Tribunal. Now, many people have misconstrued this to indicate that the tribunal must spend 180 days. If you read that section, nothing in that section says or even suggests that. The only thing that section seems to say is to impress on members of the tribunal the need for expedition, for speed, in view of the sensitive and peculiar nature of election petitions, that they must not exceed 180 days. But there's nothing there that says they must wait for 180 days. No.
And they must use it all up.
Or they must use it all up. Nothing says that these petitions cannot be concluded in 7 days. Nothing also says that the Supreme Court must use up the entire 60 days, 2 months before it decides the appeal. In fact, to underscore the exigency, the Constitution went further in section 285 subsection 8 to say that in order to expedite, nothing warrants even the tribunal to give reasons for its judgment. In other words, the tribunal can simply say, this is our judgment, we'll give you reasons later, just to ensure that this thing is expedited. That's what section 285 subsection 8 says. That underscores it. And that's why most Nigerians, like someone like former president of the NBA, Dr. Olisabakoba, had been clamoring for some radical proactivity by the tribunal, because this petition, the way it is structured, is such that it can, in my opinion, be post off in 7 days, maximum 14 days. If you give me time, I'll tell you how it can be done.
Right.
For example, the candidates have 4 major grounds for their petitions. I'm talking about the 2 major candidates. There may be other candidates, but the Labour Party, the PDP, and their presidential candidates have filed petitions. And, for example, and their petitions are similar. The summary of it, which is they are challenging the declaration of the APC candidate as president-elect on one major ground, that the constitutional requirement for that declaration was not met at all, and therefore INEC ought not to have made that return. They feel very strong about it, whether rightly or wrongly. And they hinge that on section 134, subsection 2, A and B of the Constitution, which says that for you to be declared the president-elect, where there are more than 2 candidates, you must have scored to 25% of 2/3 of the votes in 2/3 of the states of the federation and the federal capital territory. And they said, whatever you scored, if you did not score 25% of votes in the federal capital territory, you should not be declared president-elect. Now, they have their reasons. The other parties feel, no, it doesn't. It's wrong in law. They cited many cases, and the other people too have the argument. They say, how can you say you must get 25% of FCT? If you get 25% of about 30 states, why should FCT be the decider? The other people are saying, no, you must interpret the law the way it is. We lawyers have various modes of interpretation. We have the golden rule, the jus dem generis rule, and all the other rules. But the basic is the literal rule, where the law is literally clear. Don't add anything to it. And the law says you must have 2/3 of, this 2/3, 25% of 2/3 says, and means conjunction, and means plus, and means including, and means together with. And they now raise the argument that, what if WAEC said, the university said you must get English and Maths before you are admitted to read medicine, and you now get 8 other credits, 10 credits, but you lack English, you lack medicine. Would they admit you? The answer is no. So if that's what the law says, that can be decided by the tribunal. It doesn't need 180 days. You can call the lawyers, because the result for FCT is on the table. INEC has the certified result. It's online. If this party did not make 25%, come, all councils, come and address us. The tribunal can invite the parties, come and address us one day or 2 hours. Does this lack of 25%, is it fatal or it's not? And after addressing, the tribunal can adjourn to the next day and give its decision, and even tell you that I will give you reason later. That's what section 285 sub 8 empowers them to do. Now, if that fails and does not disqualify the APC candidate, you can go to the next one, which is the grounds of the opposition under section 115 of the Electoral Act, which forbids double nomination. Section 115D specifically forbids a candidate from taking nomination forms and filling nomination forms for 2 elective positions. It even went further to criminalize that misadventure in section 115 subsection K, 1K, by saying that the person will even be sentenced to 2 years imprisonment if you are found to have filled 2 nominations. Now, the opposition parties allege that the vice presidential candidate of the APC filled 2 nomination forms for both Senate and vice president. Now, they are saying that that is fatal, considering the clear, unambiguous provisions of section 115 of the Electoral Act. The matter is before the court, so we cannot conclude that this person is right or that person is right. But it is something that the tribunal can ventilate and deal with in 1 day. Address me for 2 hours. The forms are there. Certified true copies can be procured from INEC. Address us that by law, should this candidate be disqualified? Because if the vice president is disqualified, automatically it will affect the presidential candidate, like what happened in Bayelsa, where the deputy governorship candidate was disqualified for incongruities and issues of forgery. Automatically, that was what affected Leon, who was the APC governorship candidate, who was already conducting his parade for swearing in the next day, and the Supreme Court judgment came, and that was it. PDP became the governorship, it became in charge of governor of Bayelsa State. That exactly is what will happen, because it's a joint ticket. Once one is affected, it affects the other.
If they go for that.
If they go for that. And that does not require 7 days, because it does not require calling of witnesses. It requires getting the certified true copies and the parties addressing the court on what the law says on that. Now, assuming you scale that second hurdle, there is the third hurdle, the issue of the non-forfeiture non-committal forfeiture that happened in the United States of America for $460,000? Was it fatal? Is it such that falls within the contemplation of our Constitution that any person so convicted or so found guilty for anything money laundering, blah, 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 should not aspire or should not be validly elected as our president? That, again, is sub judice. I can't stay here now and say this is the correct argument or the other one. But the parties are strongly contesting that is an issue. If it is so, it doesn't also require you to call witnesses from the 774 local government. No. All you need to do is someone, whoever can give you certified true copy of that judgment, which you're already seeing online, and get the parties to address the court. What is the legal effect of this on the candidacy of the APC? 1 week is enough for that. 1 day for this party, 1 day for that party, 1 day for that party. And the tribunal adjourns for 2 days and delivers judgment.
You know, what's all your submission so far point to the fact that the delays in resolving political issues as regards elections are caused by the lawyers themselves?
In some cases, yes. In fact, in most cases, yes. Because I'm not trying to blow the trumpet for our judges. They are there to do the work, and they are ready. Some of them sit till evening. You won't know, except some of us know that sometimes the tribunal sits on Saturdays and Sundays and sits even late into the night and are willing to do the job. But sometimes some of we lawyers come with all kinds of applications which they must listen to based on Section 36 of the Constitution, which guarantees fair hearing. So that is what we are calling for here is, that's why I used the initial word, judicial proactivity. That's the best word I can use for it. I can't say judicial activism. You don't want radicalized judiciary. But there can be judicial proactivism where the judiciary now takes the temperature, gauges the mood of the country, and say, wait a minute, we are not here for decoration. We are an independent arm of the government. We have the executive, we have the legislature, we have the judiciary. Elections have been conducted by the executives. The legislature has made the electoral acts that enable that election to go on. Now it's on our table as the judiciary. We have the final say, and we must say it as it is without caring whose ox is God. If they have that attitude, they come up with practice directions, which they are entitled to, which they already have. Election petitions practice direction. They can amend it. The presiding officer can issue an order, amending it and saying, for this purpose, we are going to deal with these 3 issues within the next 3 weeks, within the next 2 weeks, within the next 1 week. Therefore, counsel, come tomorrow, prepared to address us on X, Y, Z. It's only when these 3 fail that you now talk about calling witnesses from all the states that some of the candidates claim they had more votes. The PDP candidate claimed he got more votes in Adamawa than was accredited to him. He got more votes in Rivers than was accredited to him. The Labour Party candidate claims that he got more votes in Lagos, more votes in Rivers, more votes in Plateau, more votes in Kaduna that was credited to him. And that if those votes are actually returned back to Labour Party, like the case of Lagos where the PDP person even came on air and said Labour Party got 955,000 votes, but they were given 550 votes. Now, if those 400 votes they are calculating is all given back to Labour Party claims that it got majority of lawful votes in the election. PDP claims so. APC also claims so. So that is the one that may require you to call witnesses, look into IREB, as you said, look into, the details of beavers. But we don't, and we must not get to that. If any of these 3 issues I have mentioned comes out successful. So the tribunal can, because of the mood of the country, where you see people feel restless. And let me tell you why it's very important. Section 13 of the Constitution. Let me read it for you, so that you understand why most Nigerians are feeling the way they are feeling as to why the tribunal should adopt a very proactive attitude to this. I read Section 13 of the Constitution. It says, it shall mandatorily, it shall be the duty and responsibility of all organs of government and of all authorities and persons, organs of government including judiciary, and of all authorities and persons exercising legislative, executive, and judicial powers to conform to, observe, and apply the provisions of this chapter of this Constitution. And what does this chapter say? The next one, chapter 14, section 14, says, the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy and social justice. Now, what is the social justice here? If 3 people have contested election, and a result has been declared. And that result, the law allowing the announcement of that result, provides for that result to be subjected to scrupulous judicial ventilation. And parties have gone to court. Do you not, is it not just, is it not mandatory by section 13 and 14 for the tribunal to expedite, when it has power so to do, to expedite and come to a decision before any of these three people is sworn in? Is it not just? Is it not social? We are all three contesting for something. You've been declared, and I feel wrongly you shouldn't. She feels wrongly you shouldn't. Why? And there is enough time. There is 2 months. There is even more than 2 months for this issue between the three of us to be resolved, so that if it's yours, we all congratulate you and wait for the next 4 years. If it's yours, the whole country moves forward. Well, because right now, there's anxiety, there's agitation. Even investors are waiting.
Mr. Nomodu, we do not have 2 months now to swearing in.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Right now, I think today is already the 8th.
No, I was talking about from when the election was conducted.
Indeed. So the 8th of May was, today is the 8th of May. That's where we are now. Yeah. I think we have about 21 days or so.
21 days.
21 days to swearing in. Now, these agitations came in shortly after the presidential elections. I think they're also being asked for the governorship elections as well. I mean, how this is going to all work is very unclear. But we do know that we've made some progress in terms of the time frame that we used to have. It is 180 days time frame. Was not, it didn't just fall from the sky. It was as a result of our experience whereby a president would have been in office 3 years, a case is also still being heard. So if right now, as stipulated by our Electoral Act and our Constitution, we now have a time frame of 180 days. Some people will say, what's the hurry? Why are we hurrying?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying the hurry. First of all, let me use this opportunity to also call on the incoming 10th National Assembly to quickly amend Section 285 to provide that all election contestations should end before swearing in, because it's actually unfair and offense Section 13 and 14 of the Constitution. It does not create for the social justice that should exist in our electoral process. But having said that, just like you rightly said that in the past it would take 3 years, sometimes it's even a month or 2, 3, almost 4 years before the final judgment will come. And so the whole thing would have become academic then. Now, if it is possible to bring it down to 180 days, plus another 60 days, which is 8 months, if it were possible to bring it from 3, 4 years or ad infinitum to 8 months, it's still possible to bring it down to 2 months. It's very possible to bring it within 8 weeks. I've just told you how it can be done. I've just told you how, if any of these 3 issues succeeds, that is what ends the election petition. And if they don't succeed, you can now go into the other issue and give parties time limit within which they would call their evidences. So even as we are right now, all hopes are not lost. If the tribunal decides to follow this proactive approach, all they need to do as the sitting starts today is to reel out the practice direction to the lawyers. We want you to address us on this and this. We want to deal with these 3 issues first before we go into the issue of which parties scored majority of lawful votes as contemplated by Section 134, subsection 3 and 4.
From what you also, what I also heard you say, you want the Supreme Court, the Electoral Tribunal to be given judgment on each case as it proceeds. Is that correct?
Not on each case as it proceeds, but to take what I would call preliminary issues. Issues that will not require the whole evidence from across the country. Because these 3 issues I've mentioned are not issues that will require evidence from polling agents, returning officers, state collation officers, and all that.
But what you're saying is that it should give a decision on each one as it goes.
As it goes, it could just allocate a week to deal with these 3 issues. They can even say address us on all these 3 matters. And we take 2 days, 3 days to give our decision on them.
So let's even grant that happens. You know, that the Elections Petitions Tribunal does that, and then maybe perhaps for whatever reason it doesn't succeed, and then they say, okay, let us take the one where all the evidences come together. Maybe they're even able to handle all of that within a month or thereabouts, or even 6 weeks. What about the Supreme Court? Because oftentimes, from what we know, our litigants are never satisfied with the first court of instance. They always want to get up to the Supreme Court. It's like as if the Supreme Court eventually must have a say in these issues. Don't we see that the Supreme Court sittings might also, go past the inauguration date?
That's what I'm saying. It would only happen because the law as it is now allows it. That's why I started by calling for urgent amendment of the Constitution, Section 285, subsection 6 and 7. Should be urgently amended because it does not conform with Section 13 and 14 of the same Constitution that demands mandatorily social justice for everything you do in Nigeria. But even going by the question you asked, I'm saying that the Court of Appeal, which is the Election Petitions Tribunal of First Instance, and the Supreme Court can issue practice directions that limit the parties to the time within which they should conclude their cases. The law allows that. And that's what we are calling on them to do, considering the mood of the nation. The country is more divided than it has ever been. Politicians have exploited our religious and ethnic fault lines. We need urgent healing. We need urgent amity and concord for progress and prosperity for our nation. Investors are waiting to see which direction to commit their investments in this country. So even, let me tell you, even the bandits are waiting and watching. Have you not noticed that since election, the banditry has seemingly subsided? Have they all died? No. Have you noticed that kidnapping has seemingly subsided? They've not gone out of the face of the earth. They are apparently surreptitiously waiting to see the outcome, which means they also react to our electoral process. That is why the courts should be very urgent about this, because it affects our security, it affects our economy, it affects our unity, our love and progress.
Mr. Numudu, we want to thank you so much for coming. But just before you go, now they have 180 days for the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, and you talked about the need to speed up things. What about the governorship's Petition Tribunal? That hasn't even started sitting yet.
Those ones are also going on simultaneously. They've started, it's just that they're happening in the states.
Okay.
They've started, and they should apply the same speed also, so that we can all make progress as a country.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Isaac Anumudu is a lawyer and public analyst, policy analyst. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Wow, I said I should play it. Well, guys, I don't have much to say. Well, we are hopeful that we will carry the day, the truth will prevail, okay? What we're praying for is a good country. That's what we want. We don't want drug lords in our country. We don't want terrorists in our country. We want people with integrity, people that have the country at heart, okay? Let's be hopeful. Let's keep on praying for our country. Those in diaspora, don't give in, don't give up. As I always said, we know that we can do it, and we can always do it. Let's wait on the court. As Peter Obi always said, he's a peaceful guy. He said, "I've gone to court," and I don't know why people even ask. They said he should go to court. He has gone to court. People are still after him. Why just him? But they're singling him out because they know that he won. They're not even after Atiku, but just after him. If anything he does, if he cough, if anything he does, they will read stupid news to it. Just imagine some guy on Twitter talking nonsense. Peter Obi, against the northern people, say they are not educated, they are impoverished. What did he say? He said he will work to make sure that all people, those in the north, have good education. At least they will be useful to the society. It's everywhere, but people read different meanings of everything he says. But all the is like that. People believe in propaganda and false accusations and the rest. But the truth will prevail. All right, guys. I'm going to stop you right now. So please kindly follow us on our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the video. Like, make comments, please. It's good. Make comment and like. All right. We are going to call it a day for now. These Africans in Diaspora Network. All right, guys. Let's be cheerful. Let's be happy. Don't let anything weigh you down. No. Life is too beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you so much. God bless you. Good night and God bless you.